February 7th, 2017. A friend from the Netherlands pointed this page out to me. I want to read the title, if I can get it. NASA, the death of a planet. Venus had an ocean and habitable surface temperatures for 2 billion years. This is in a Daily Galaxy page. Check it out. Look at Venus. One can imagine what life was like on this ancient star. It's something similar to the Earth. Almost exactly similar. Really, really think about it. People like us. Life just like Earth. Oceans to explore, with animals, creatures swimming around. Coral reefs. Wars. Can you imagine what kind of religion sprung up on a completely different world? Imagine what kind of weird shit they believed in. These results show ancient Venus may have been a very different place than it is today, said Michael Way, a researcher at NASA Goddard Institute for Space Studies, or GISS, in New York. Venus today is a hellish world. It has a crushing carbon dioxide atmosphere 90 times as thick as Earth's. There is almost no water vapor. The temperatures reach 864 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 462 degrees Celsius at its surface. Venus may have had a shallow liquid water ocean and habitable surface temperatures for up to 2 billion years of its early history, according to computer modeling of the planet's ancient climate by scientists at NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, GISS, in New York. The findings, published in the journal Geophysical Research Letters, were obtained with a model similar to the type used to predict future climate change on Earth. For those that don't know, you do have a supercomputer sitting on top of your shoulders. Don't let academics tell you otherwise. These computer modeling things, sometimes all it is somebody thinking about how to solve these problems. We already have the computer modeling tools right here. Use them. Many of the same tools we use to model climate change on Earth can be adapted to study climates on other planets, both past and present, which will essentially be astronauts in the future actually visiting those places. We are the future tools, said Michael Way, a researcher at GISS and the paper's lead author. The research was done as a part of NASA's Planetary Science Astrobiology program through the Nexus for Exoplanet Studies, or Exoplanet System Science, which is abbreviated NEXSS, or Nexus. That's a cool looking word. Which seeks to search for life on planets orbiting other stars or exoplanets by combining insights from the field of astrophysics, planetary science, heliophysics, and earth science. Scientists long have theorized that Venus formed out of ingredients similar to Earth's, but followed a different evolutionary path. Measurements by NASA's Pioneer mission to Venus in the 1980s first suggested Venus originally may have had an ocean. Oceans are ubiquitous to the process of stellar evolution. There's a point in a star's life where it hosts life in oceans. If it evolves too fast, which I'm making corrections for after orbiting too close to a host star to where it's all ripped away before it has the time to form it, that would be a major exception to the rule. But for the most part, if it's in an orbit very stable, such as Neptune, Uranium, Jupiter, Saturn, we can expect to have it form an Earth-like object, which will eventually host life in oceans in its interior, after the majority of the hydrogen atmosphere is ripped away. That being said, they have it as Venus following a different evolutionary path. No, not following a different evolutionary path. Was much more highly evolved than the Earth, but the same evolutionary path. It is exactly what Earth will look like in its future, regardless if the sun is in the picture or not. The other statements here, you guys can read those on your own. Those are basically the ideas I wanted to share. But really, allow yourself to look at these types of articles in the light that stellar evolution is planet formation. And you'll be able to see through a lot of the stuff they're writing here with, you know, a better theory. They don't actually have a theory for how Venus is formed. Case in point, don't take my word for it. Look for yourself. Go to Wikipedia, type in the word Venus into Wikipedia, look it up, and you'll see that they don't actually have an age for Venus or a formation understanding of Venus. None of that exists because they don't actually have a model for Venus. They just have what they're looking at, and for the most part, it's ignored because humans can't live there. It takes somewhat of a human-centered bias. We only tend to look at places where we can actually explore on the surface, like Mars or the Moon. For the most part, I mean, there's others that we actually send probes to that we don't actually walk on, but yeah. All right, y'all, take it easy.